right into it. Most of these video ideas are from 2022, which shows you how productive that I've been on filming these. Not very. You want to buy your first Rolex. This is not going to be how to make the money to do that. There may be other videos on my perspective on it. You know, your passive income, your drop shipping, all the other bullshit that people sell you. It's not the route I would go, but nonetheless. So, first off, going to the AD. Let's talk about this at the beginning because I think a lot of people have a misunderstanding. I've been to all these ADs. I have semi-relationships with some of them. Other ones I've only walked into, spoken for a little bit. That includes Vacheron, Omega, AP, Rolex. Haven't been to Patek, so I don't really know how they operate, or I do, but I haven't really done anything to go in. But I've been on the wait list for 2 years now, 2.5 years, in every city you can think of. So all the major cities I know are a little bit tougher. Miami, where I live especially, is very hard. I've gone for more, not off-catalog pieces, but more pieces that are a little bit harder to acquire, that aren't the entry level, Submariner, Steel GMT, all things along those lines. So I've gone that route. I've gone the route of going for precious metals pieces that are a little bit more expensive, things that a lot of people aren't walking in asking for. Still been on the wait list for 1.5 years. Now I have buddies, you know who you are if you're watching this, that have walked in there and within a week they've gotten a two-tone date just, and then they got a Submariner. So they've already built a relationship. Maybe they thought they were cute. Maybe they had a better smile than I did, or a cooler job, which is probably what it is. But nonetheless, they've got in there. They've already gotten one fully stainless piece and one two-tone piece. Both gorgeous. They didn't get stuck with a smooth bezel date just that looks like shit. So AD, if you want to play that game, I'd recommend going in, not having a bunch of hopes. And if you can, look for a different model that you still like, because I don't appreciate people begging for and needing to spend thousands, tens of thousands, multiple tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars to get a piece that you fucking hate, and then they sell you one that you actually like and you've lost all of your money. So that's just my 2 cents on it. ADs have been a pain in the ass for me. I know a lot of people have similar experiences, so that's just my 2 cents. Where I would look, websites. Look for any website you can find. Chrono is hit or miss. Chrono can kind of give you the top and bottom of the market. You want to look somewhere in between, in the middle, and that may help you out the best. I know a lot of people shit on Chrono. You can get kind of a gauge of where the market's at. They have some information, some analytics that other websites don't have. Facebook groups. Facebook groups are huge. They're normally invite only, but if you can get in there, I suggest messaging somebody if you can, anything along those lines. They'll let you in. It's just getting that first initial invite, and you can find normally better pricing and things like that, or going local. Again, I think information is key. I would go the route of going to local suppliers, going to local jewelers, dealers, what have you, and just getting a gauge for the market's at. If you're looking for a Cartier Louis tank, something that I'm currently looking for, it's not necessarily walking in and buying it off the street. I like to look everywhere. When someone asks me to help find a watch for them, anything along those lines, I look in every different place so I can get a gauge of where the market's at. That way, everyone's going to tell you they have the best price. Everyone's going to tell you that they want to get the deal done quick. That's not true. Look at all the pricing, get a gauge for yourself, get an estimate. If you pay $100 too much or $100 less and save some money, that's not the biggest thing. As long as you're not getting absolutely waxed, that would be my biggest takeaway. Read the description. This is huge. I get sent a lot of watches that people are looking at that my friends want to know, is this a good deal? Read the description. It's going to tell you, hey, if this is a couple grand off on an AP, it may be because it's missing links, and these links are very hard to get. Missing a box, some of these boxes go from $500 to $5,000 when you start getting into Patek, RM, things like that. So read the description, because normally if it's at a super good price, sometimes you'll get lucky and they need to get rid of the watch. Other times, most of the time, it's condition, it's missing something, or there's no box, or there's another story there, it's been serviced, something like that. If it's too good to be true, it normally is. Box and papers. This is huge. I consider myself a collector, so what that means is I want box and papers, even if it's an older watch, things like that. Some people don't give a shit. If you're going through this because you want a piece that looks good on Instagram and you want to slowly work your way up and you're swapping pieces out, don't worry too much about it. It's going to be cheaper and you don't really care. I never look at my papers, anything like that. So it's not the biggest deal in the world. I, however, want to collect these pieces and hold on to them forever. It does help with resale value, but again, I'm not really factoring that in because I'm trying to build a collection rather than just keep flipping to build up. None's better than the other. That's how I approach it. That's the way I go about it. Taxes. So they're very touchy subject. There are some companies that you need to look at that may charge taxes if you're in a certain state, or may not charge taxes if you're in a certain state. Rumor is, hypothetically, people have opened up LLCs in Delaware, ship boxes to Delaware, or other states that don't have income taxes, or sales taxes, rather. I've never done it. Some people do it. Look into it. Proceed at your own risk. I don't know any of the information about that. This is not legal advice by any means, or financial advice. But there are ways that people do that I've heard go around it. So just look at that. Some companies, you don't have to worry about that, doing all the charades and whatnot. They will just say, hey, if you're not from a certain state, you don't get charged sales tax. Sometimes people will work with you on factoring sales tax into the final purchase price, and that can save you a shit ton of money. If you're buying these $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 watches, taxes is $3,000, $5,000, to up to 10 grand once you start getting into six figures for some places that you live. So I would look at taxes, ask about taxes. It's a weird subject. A lot of these times that you bring it up, people are kind of iffy about it, but talk to them and just see kind of what options there are regarding the taxes, because again, they can take a huge bite out of where you need to be. And lastly, a big piece that I think a lot of people need to realize is these dealers do need to make money. So, if you see something, you're buying from a dealer, in a dealer that you want to trust and build a relationship, I think that's huge. But then again, don't let them walk all over you. They're going to make some money on it. They will make sure these guys do it, for a living every day, whether it be in the Diamond District in New York, whether it be in LA, whether it be in Miami, Chicago, what have you. These people are making their money. So realize that, try to get the best deal you possibly can. Make sure, everyone walks away a little bit pissed off. That's the way, you got a good deal. But in the end, price shop, compare. I know it sounds horrible. Dealers don't want to hear that shit. But make sure you're getting a decent deal. And again, you want to look for post-purchase items that they offer. Do they offer servicing? Is there, warranties, things like that the dealer will provide. Most of the time, if you're buying on the gray market, it'll be out of warranty for the specific company, Rolex, AP, Patek, whatever it may be. So look at that. Buy from a reputable dealer. Again, if you see a price that is too good to be true, and normally is, they may be flipping something, it could be stolen. There's a whole bunch of other things. These watches are pretty liquid for the most part, and so stolen watches do happen. You don't want to get caught handing the bag, because there's some legal ramifications. You could be out of tens of thousands of dollars. So just pay attention. If you're dealing with something sketch, you can have a feeling of it. You're an adult. If somebody seems sketchy, it's because they probably are, and there's a lot of sketch balls in the watches, jewelry industry, everything along those lines. So I'd get somebody that's very forward-facing, that has a great reputation that they want to maintain on the internet, not just some dude on WhatsApp that's trying to sling you a watch that'll be super quick in and out. Those can be very sketch, and those can get you fucked pretty quick. So those are just my tips on how to buy your first luxury watch, whether that be Rolex, whether that be AP, Omega, Cartier, whatever it is. It's completely up to you. But those are the tips that I've learned from buying a few pieces and just talking with a lot of these dealers on the daily, because I'm obsessed with it.